Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the R53 Mini. What are we up to today? Well, this car had I've only just replaced the battery. Battery is probably about 12 years old, so it did pretty well. Replaced the battery, but every now and then the car just wasn't starting. So I looked into it and found that the ignition barrel can sometimes, there's a lot of contacts in there and they can get quite clogged up. So we're going to take it apart and have a look and see what we can find. So to get this apart, fairly simple. Most of you probably pull this apart. Needs a bit of brute strength. We're going to pull this panel down and then we're going to take this bottom piece off, right? So starting on this side, pull that out, get your fingers in there, try not to hurt yourself, probably better with gloves so you don't hurt yourself on the plastic. But just give it a pull and down she comes. Right, there is a Torx T20. Torx T20, there's a couple of screws up in here, right? One on this side, one on the other side. So we're just going to pull this one out. And that should come out. There we go. Torx T20. And there's another one on the other side. For sakes of getting this moving, I've already taken the other one out. Now, this is held in. It's got a couple of clips up the back here. And then just a few clips down the side. So we just squeeze in. There's two slots in the back. You squeeze your fingers in there. Give it a hard pull. That should come out. Pull this down. Just watch on this side of the ignition because there's a rubber ring that's held in, so just make sure you don't snap off the plastic on there. Just work that down, round, and out that should come. So there you can see just there, you can see the two clips that are holding on the back there, so you have to push out on those, or just give it a good yank, that'll come out. Okay, so this is the part we're looking at. So, two things. One, obviously the electrical connections that go through. So in here there's a barrel with a whole bunch of little relay contacts on either side. And to get this out, once we've got the cable off, there's two very small flathead screws. And we'll show you that in just a minute. But for the moment, what we're going to do, get your screwdriver, or if you've got thin enough fingers under there, and pull this out. And as you pull this out, you'll notice that the connector will start dropping down. There, just notice that. And then that should just pop out, just fall out. All right, so get this cable out the way. I don't know if you can see, but just up under here, you can see the plastic here comes in here. There's a little grub screw in here that just goes up and holds that tight, and then there's one on the back. I'm just going to maneuver myself in position so I can get this little flathead screwdriver up in there, and we'll loosen that off. All right, we'll do the back one first. You have to get right under to make sure you can find out where the hole is. Get that in there, loosen that off. Try not to do too much. You don't really want them dropping out because otherwise it's a bit of a pain to get them back in. We'll just see, yeah, that's fairly loose. Just do little bits at a time if you have to until you feel that the thing can come out. So here we go, you can feel it, see it dropping down. Yeah, back one's loose. I'll just keep turning this front one, little bits at a time. Yeah, there we go, and that screw's still in. Okay, there it is. Here you can see just a keyed arm coming out from the ignition. So if I actually get the key, you just hold a sec, I'll get the key, put the key in, you should see this turn around there, see? Okay, so that, if I just jump back up here and I'll put this back in here, so that sits in this part of the barrel and obviously is turning the barrel inside, which we'll show you later when we take this apart. Okay, so that's it out, and as I said, later on in the video what we'll do is we'll go through and take it apart. You basically again need a small flat blade or a knife to get in under this side, pop these up, make sure you're holding that up while you pop the other side out, and it all comes apart. Just note there are a couple of springs in here, but don't worry too much, they don't fly off, but there are some bearings and other bits in there which you'll see later on in the video. And typically, I believe it's between 5 and 8. Whereas the main problem occurs in these things. So as you can see between the pins, and as you'll see in the footage later, there are little contact points between each one of these and each one of these. And what to do, get a bit of emery board and you can open them up with a little screwdriver and you'll see the contacts get quite black. So you clean them up till they're looking nice and shiny and put this back in and we should be good. So let's go and take this thing apart. Okay, inside.
there's the switch. As you can see, there's a spring in here. We can see in good light where it attaches, and by the looks of taking this apart, this front cover has to come off first, so we'll take that off first and then see what it looks like. I've never taken one of these things apart, so we'll be learning as we go. By the looks of it, there's these little tags here and here. Yeah, there's another two on this side that are holding it back, so we're going to pop those up and see if we can pop that off, see where the spring goes. Also make sure we'll look at the orientation of the inside piece of this, because that's obviously got to key back on, slide back into the car when we're done, so we've got a good view of that so we know where it goes. Okay, I've managed to lift up the clips up onto that side there. I'm just slowly now going to see what happens when we slide this off. Okay, parts full. We need to know where that all went. Oh yeah, some position bearing and another part here. Now, we have to work out how that sits. Okay, we've now lifted the tabs on the side, both sides. You can see that's where that little piece of white plastic sits. So that sits in there quite nicely. The good thing is that that spring is still attached inside there, so I didn't have to lose that. So lifting this off, let's see what we've got. Okay, nothing interesting there, just a plastic cover. And here we can see all the contacts. And as you can see, as the barrel moves around, it's obviously making contact. So we're going to get this barrel out and have a look at the contacts. Right, I've got a nail file and just using a flat blade to pull the contacts apart. I've slid that in there. I've gone around all of them. Excuse me. This one was the worst, and as you can see, it's been pretty filthy in there. So I've gone around them a couple of times and I keep adjusting this file. I'm going to do it just a couple more times, and we'll put it back together and see if it made a difference. One thing I have done is I've redistributed the grease back into the moving points. It's plastic grease, so another good thing to do, especially on this on this arm here. This is a stop lever. Obviously it gets pushed back down with this here. So a piece of plastic that fell out. Here's a little ramp on that pushes that back down to actuate the thing. So good to make sure that's all greased up. Right, now we've got it back together. Let's put it back in the car. Slide it in, do up the two little screws and connect the connector back in. Let's see if it starts.
Alright, success, another thing fixed. So that's the end of this video. If you liked it, please press the thumbs up. If you want to get more content from this channel, hit the subscribe button, and if you hit the bell button, you'll get a notification when that content becomes available. See you next time, guys. What did I do with the screw, Darren? Can you tell me where that screw is? I personally can't find it.